Jeff Goldblum?
Jeff Goldblum just, you know, I met Jeff Goldblum the night he lost his virginity. And he didn't lose it with me. I was doing my very first play, Sticks and Bones, for Joe Patton Public Theater. He was around the corner doing Raoul Julia's Joe Patton Public Theater, Two Gentlemen of Verona. He was 19 years old. And our play went over to hobnob at his play, because our play at Open was nominated for a Pulitzer, and then his play around the corner on 44th Street. And I met him at the cast party for their opening night. And we play a sextet now, you know, jazz sextet, Goldblum and me. But he's off in New York shooting a series. But, you know, Goldblum is like, it's Jeff, you know. Watermelon. Jeff was going to get married some years ago. We're playing a gig over here in Wilshire. And I said, you're going to get married. Now I'm wonderfully married, and thankfully I'm married. And my wife was standing right back there. So you can give it up for my wife. Lost without it. But anyway, Jeff was all of a sudden engaged to be married. And Jeff is 4 years younger than I am. And I said, Jeff, you're going to get married? He says, we're on the other side, Peter. On the other side. So that's what somebody, I always say that now, I'm on the other side. Somebody honks at me or whatever.
We should do, well, one more question. I think we got the movie.
Oh, let's not watch the movie. Let's stand.
I mean, I'm having fun.
Are you getting a PhD in something?
I got my master's. I've lived in Italy for some years, off and on between the United States. Some years ago, you know, I started my movie cachet. I'm always horning my way into archaeological digs and Renaissance art history things and so forth. I'm an amateur art aficionado. In 2001, I qualified for a really high-end program through Syracuse, where they take 8 people a year. You go to Syracuse?
No, but I'm from that area.
Well, I pity you, man. That's like a Russian prison. There's no sun in that town. That's as overcast as I've ever seen it. But this particular program, they choose 8 people a year, and they're all high-end people from Rutgers and Brown and Harvard and Yale and whatever. And you get to do the whole thing in Florence. I had no undergrad credit, so long story short, because I speak Italian, French, and Spanish and German and knew some Latin, I qualified for it, so I got my master's degree over there, and then I went off and I still do teach field trips in Italy for Syracuse University. That said, I was informed by the federal government that if I ever wanted to get a recommendation from these wonderful scholars to do a PhD, I should get it now, because there's a limit now that you can use their recommendations. So I got their recommendations. This is like 3 years ago. And then I was informed by another federal note, just FYI, if you do this, that once you get a recommendation from some upper-level school, it's only good for 2 years. And if those people pass away, and all these people are geriatric, you're dead, man, because that recommendation is dead. So I applied to UCLA. I got into UCLA. I also got into NYU as an honor. And I just finished my. I'm protracting this because I can't tell you that after 2.5 years of schoolwork in between movie gigs, on a PhD level of studying. Anybody got a PhD in here? Anybody got a master's degree? Yeah. So they could tell you what upper level education is. First of all, it's dysfunctional and shame-based. You're great and you're not. And you're kind of, you know, I don't know. And you know, reduces you to really a sniveling kind of idiot. If you can, but keep your nose in the book. This last week, I finally did my written exams. I defend in the fall. But the written exams are the bitch, because they email them to you at 7 a.m. and you have 1 week to tell them everything you know, footnoted and biblioed, on 4 questions. And so that, I guess, thank God Sherry was in Las Vegas, because I smoked about, if I smell like a cigar, I apologize, because I haven't taken a shower in 4 days. I'm in the same clothes I finished in last night, and I've been smoking about 10 cigars a day. And a whole bunch of cups of coffee, because that is about as grueling as it. I finally emailed him at 2 o'clock this morning. Thank you. to be at UCLA today, and and I thought I was going to walk into this. I thought I was going to walk into, a bunch of profs going, way to go. No. You walk into a bunch of profs saying, okay, the next little thing you have to do. I said, excuse me, I just ran a friggin' marathon for you. Let me tell you the next little thing I got to do, So I listened to him for about an hour and then split. So thank you for
Well, we're still playing in the band, the Beaters. We're still together. I'm the BillyBarrett.com. If you don't know where we're playing.
And I'm going to go soon.
Yeah. I got a song on Michael Bublé's current album, which is number 1. And what else? I'm the announcer on the George Lopez show.
Whoa.
That's kind of fun. And tonight, actor Peter Weller! They pay you to do that. So we're still hanging in there, doing our stuff.
Very good. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming out. This was
sure. Thank you all for coming out.
One last thing. Because there's another theater in town that really supports this theater. As a matter of fact, this other theater wanted to show this film, and they found out that the New Beverly was showing it. They said, no, we love them. But on May the 14th and 15th, there's a retrospective, and when they called me and said, we want to do a retrospective, it's like, you're dead, man. It's like, oh, what? I'm not even in the second act of my life yet. But on May the 14th and 15th, because they're showing Buckaroo here, they're not showing Buckaroo there, but they are showing Naked Lunch and RoboCop and the American Cinema too. And I'm going to bring Jerry and Billy along with me on that, too.